Olive, the Other Reindeer is the 1999 CG animated Christmas special written by Steve Young and directed by Oscar Moore. It's produced by The Simpsons creator Matt Groening and is based on the 1997 children's book by Vivian Walsh of the same name. It stars Drew Barrymore, Joe Pantoliano, and Dan Castellaneta, and tells the story of a dog named Olive who thinks Santa needs her help to save Christmas from being cancelled. It was released by 20th Century Fox and received good reviews. It was even nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Animated Program. So for today's video, I originally planned for my dog to come out and we'd be talking about the film and analyzing how accurate it is, but she wasn't able to make it due to stuff. So, but she left a message. So let me read it. It says woof. So let's get the review started. We start off with a great musical number where Olive sings about her love for Christmas. After nearly getting hit by a mail truck, we're introduced to Martini, a con artist penguin. If that doesn't get your attention, then I don't know what will. Notice how the background says, rent a cake. Who the hell rents a cake? That doesn't make sense. See, if I see a cake, I eat it. I don't leave it out to show off. I want to meet whoever started that business. We need to talk. And eat some cake. Olive goes home to her owner, Tim, who for some strange reason reminds me of an animated version of Jim Halpert. Anyways, after taking off the Christmas decorations, he confronts Olive about not acting enough like a dog. Kind of a douche move, Tim. We see inside Olive's house to find that she has a pet flea, who's voiced by the same guy who played the creepy dude from Ghostbusters 2. He convinces Olive that she's one of Santa's reindeer and she should go help him. While running to the bus station, Olive knocks over a mailman, played by Dan Castellaneta. He acts as the Grinch-type villain who hates Christmas. And I mean really hates Christmas, maybe even more than the Grinch.
Christmas, bah, bug and hum.
He sings a song about how much he loathes it, and is willing to spend time to write hundreds of fake Santa letters, and travels all the way to the North Pole to make sure Santa gets them. I don't even think the Grinch would be that dedicated. At the bus station, Olive reunites with Martini before the mailman tries to take her into custody. Oh, look how Martini helps out Olive.
TV!
Help me, Martini! I helped you!
I've always heard about the power of the pen, but I've never actually seen it. Dog and Penguin take the bus where the bus driver... Duh! Where's his nose? Look at that. Everyone else has what I think is a nose, but how come he doesn't? I need a second. Okay, let's continue. The mailman catches up to the bus by knocking some driver off the road. That's not dangerous at all. In order to stall him, Martini takes out the mighty paper plane.
Deliver this, punk!
They escape the mailman and stop at a diner where, you guessed it, the mailman dresses up as a waitress and kidnaps Olive. Boy, this guy is fast. Where'd he even get the waitress costume and hair? And how can they not see that overly large mustache on his face? Luckily, Deus Ex Machina sends a package to Olive that includes a metal file. I see what you did there, movie. I see what you did. She escapes and walks back to the diner where she finds out the last bus to the North Pole has left. We say goodbye to the frightening bus driver. And head off to a local bar with reindeer and Santa rejects. They try to throw Olive off the roof. That's murder. But Olive delivers an inspiring speech that encourages a song.
We're not so bad. We're not so bad. We're not so bad.
The Santa reject takes Olive and Martini down to Santa's workshop on the Polar Express. Do you think that guy is actually Tom Hanks in disguise? There is a chance. Olive gets to the North Pole where the asshole security guard repeatedly says no to Olive. He even has a pull-down wallpaper thing that says no. Is that all he says? Martini gives him a faulty watch and convinces the guard to turn off the electricity to fix the time. Why isn't this guy fired? Anyways, Olive gets in and introduces herself to Santa Claus. She warns him about the fake letters and convinces him that she's the reindeer, which encourages Santa to continue Christmas. The mailman breaks in and after grunting like Homer Simpson, switches out the gift bag with a bag of letters. Olive and the other reindeer go off and deliver presents when we find out that Olive is in fact not a reindeer. Damn it, that's another lost bet. She's dangling off, and as Buzz Lightyear said best,
Wow! I'm flying!
This isn't flying, this is falling with style.
well, wait, technically she's not really falling. She's hanging off, but technically. Luckily, they still make it off the ground. Meanwhile, back at the workshop, Martini is kidnapped by the mailman. After realizing they've been bamboozled, Olive and the gang find the mailman and try to stop him, but before they can do so, Martini scares the mailman with a jack-in-the-box. Hey, the mailman might be the grown-up version of the kid from Poltergeist. Either way, Martini is rescued, the mailman is tied up, and we have a final musical number to celebrate Christmas being saved.
I don't have antlers, I don't have hooves. How flying works, I have no clue.
We go from delivering presents to the Pope to delivering presents to effing Jet, Jaguar, and Godzilla, who are hugging for some reason. And that doesn't matter. Christmas is saved. Olive is left back at home where Tim apologizes. The mailman is dropped off in the zoo with some penguins, and Martini becomes the new mailman. And that's Olive, the Other Reindeer. Overall, I love this special. I think it's extremely underrated. All the voice acting is incredible. Martini is hilarious. The animation is very unique and looks really good. Well, most of it. And Olive's love and enthusiasm for Christmas transfers over and definitely gets you in the holiday mood. I'm gonna give this special 6 out of 6 spooky bus drivers. Now I could end the video early, but f*** that. I'm gonna grab my mystery bag and we're gonna choose another special to talk about. So, without further ado, here is Earthworm Jim. For those of you who don't know, here's a little backstory. Earthworm Jim is a run-and-gun platform video game from 1994. It was developed by Shiny Entertainment and released on the Super Nintendo, Sega CD, Game Boy, Game Gear, and PC. But the most famous version, and what's considered to be the best, is the Sega Genesis version. It featured an earthworm who wore a robot suit and fought lawyers, cats, goldfish, and other weird things. Actually, we'll talk about the game in another episode. Anyways, Kids WB produced an animated cartoon series of the same name. Coincidentally, Jim was voiced by the same guy that voiced the postman in all of the Other Reindeer, Dan Castellaneta. It ran for 23 episodes before getting cancelled, but luckily for us, the very last episode is the Christmas episode, For Whom the Jingle Bell Tolls. And don't worry, I do plan on reviewing the entire series eventually, but for today, we'll only be talking about this one Christmas special, so let's get started. We start off with Jim decorating his secret headquarters, but as you can see, it's not very low-key.
Well, what do you think, Peter?
Jim, are you sure you know what secret headquarters means?
Jim gets electrocuted and spots, okay, so her name is the Evil Queen Pulsating, bloated, festering, sweaty, stinky, pus-filled, malformed slug for a butt. Wow. Imagine having to fill your name out on one of those bubble scantrons, or having that on your resume. Jim quickly gets rid of her by giving her a bomb wrapped in a Christmas present, very much like in Looney Tunes, and sending her off to space. Later, on Insectica, while Queen Slug for a Butt is working out, she asks Arcbug to tell her everything he knows about Christmas. He explains that Santa uses a magical sleigh and proceeds to show her Earth television so she can get a sense of what goes on.
Yes'm, I have it on the highest authority in the universe. Earth television.
Today's topic, Kids who caught their moms kissing Santa Claus, and moms who are proud of it.
Naughty or nice?
Oh, please, it's just a job!
Merry Christmas, jerkwad!
The Queen decides to kidnap Santa and turn him evil to help her conquer Earth. We cut to Dr. Santa Claus, where we see him force an elf to take his boot off. Hey, at least they aren't squeaky boots.
Could you hear it? Yes, I did it! I did it! I took the boots! They're here! Under the floorboard!
But as soon as the elf takes it off, the Queen bursts in.
To the ultimate icon of evil!
Oh boy! Someone's going on the naughty list!
Meanwhile, Jim, Peter, and Princess What's-Her-Name are at the mall waiting for... hold on. Okay. Yep, that's her name. Are at the mall waiting to meet Santa. Jim reveals that the mall Santa isn't the real Santa, which upsets Peter.
But my inedible fruitcake of seasonal delight, that's not the real Santa.
Not the real Santa?
Okay, I really need to stop cutting away to things getting destroyed. I promise that was the last one. Spoke too soon. It turns out, Mall Santa is Jim's old cellmate, Walter, whose psychic beard link reveals to Jim that Santa's in trouble. This leads to Jim, Peter, and the princess to rocket to the North Pole, where they find out Santa disappeared. Jim runs into a group of Santa helpers and interrogates them.
Oh, Santa disappeared and no one noticed.
What kind of elves are you?
Well, actually, we just call ourselves elves to get the babes.
Wow, I guess that would explain why I saw that guy on Tinder. The trio end up going to Santa's favorite hangout, the personifications of the Abstract Concepts Club, where the Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny, Cupid, and Death are trash-talking Santa since he gets the most attention. Wait, isn't this about... Jim encounters a drunk Rudolph who explains to him how Santa mistreats him. However, Jim takes this the wrong way and accuses him of kidnapping Santa.
It wasn't me, I swear! It was some insect with a butt the size of a Macy's parade balloon!
Oh, you mean like this guy? Back at Insectica, Santa gets the Clockwork Orange treatment and the Queen tries to brainwash him, but nothing seems to work. That is, until they place a microchip inside his ear. Our heroes show up, but are quickly stopped when she flattens them with her butt.
I knew those aerobics would come in handy.
Wow, she is thick with 2 C's. The Queen and Santa go off to brainwash all the children in the world.
The children of Earth are expecting us.
Yeah. The pathetic little suckers.
Did he just... No way.
The pathetic little suckers.
He just called those kids f***ers.
The pathetic little suckers.
Whoa, Santa, I know you're brainwashed and all, but don't you think that's a little too far? Back in Earth, the Queen and Santa break into some kid's house and decide to brainwash them over raisin cookies.
Raisins! I hate raisins!
Yeah, everyone seems to have a problem with raisins, but for some reason, I've never had a problem with...
We good? Now put us in your mouth before I come over there and snap your neck.
Okay. Santa and the Queen sneak their way across the hall, only to accidentally walk into the wrong room.
If it's going to upset you this much, you shouldn't watch the news.
What? They eventually find the right room, only to see that Jim and his friends are there. Peter and Princess take on the Queen, while Jim stays back to go one-on-one with Santa, but finds himself not being able to fight him. This makes Santa tear up, which breaks the chip inside his brain. Santa tells Jim he'll save the day and reveals his true form.
The days I was...
Oh my god! Holy crap, Santa is a badass! Now I want to see that guy wrestle on WWE. Anyways, Christmas is saved and we go back to Jim's headquarters, where he gets the present he's always wanted. A pony! But then, out of nowhere, 1 ton of fruitcake abruptly lands on Jim and the cow from every episode pops out. One last time. And that's the Earthworm Jim Christmas Special. Overall, I think it's a great episode, but not a very good way of ending the series. But to be fair, I'm sure they didn't know that was going to end up being the last episode. Maybe. Either way, I found it to be hilarious. Dan Castellaneta as Earthworm Jim is perfect. The story is nothing new, but it's executed very well, especially with the jokes. I'm going to give For Whom the Jingle Bell Tolls 3.998 out of 4 swearing Santas. And that's it for today's video. Come back next week where we'll take a look at one of the craziest, silliest Christmas movies of the 80s. Until next time, don't forget to please be kind. Rewind.